Medical disclaimer. The information presented in this channel is for educational purposes only. It is not intended as medical diagnostic or prescribing procedures. Understanding fats. Part 2. Monounsaturated fats. They have only one carbon double bond and one only empty space per molecule. Mono meaning one. Because of that structure, monounsaturated fats are somehow more stable and less dangerous than polyunsaturated ones. Still, because of the one empty space in the molecule, they can still oxidize easily and produce a negative effect to human health. Because the double bond or empty space in the molecule is situated in the 9th position, this fat is called omega-9. Explanatory note. As explained in part 1 of these series, all fats are composed of a combination, in different proportions, of the three main type of fats. Therefore, there are no 100% purely monounsaturated fats. It is the most abundant fatty acid in any particular fat that determines whether it is recognized and named as poly, mono, or saturated. Saturated fats will be discussed in part 3 of this series. Monounsaturated fats can be found in olives, olive oil, avocados, avocado oil, peanuts and peanut oil, canola oil, sesame seeds and sesame oil, macadamia nuts and macadamia oil, almonds and almond oil, and Brazil nuts, among others. The main component of monounsaturated fats, like in olive oil, is called oleic acid. While a healthy small level of oleic acid could benefit your heart health, nevertheless, consuming too much of this omega-9 fatty acid could have some negative consequences. A diet composed primarily of omega-9 could eventually lead to heart failure. Also, will inhibit glucose metabolism. At a more scientific level, oleic acid, as found in olive oil, is an activator for receptors in the liver called PPARs. PPARs stand for peroxisome proliferation activated receptors. But we are not going there. In this presentation, I'm simplifying as much as possible these explanations. Because of this, I will briefly mention that these receptors in the liver are a superfamily of nuclear receptors that play a major regulatory role in energy homeostasis and metabolic function. Some have a protective effect, and others have a detrimental effect. It can be said that they are like a coin with two sides. Also, they can be compared to a double-edged sword. One edge good, the other edge bad. This is as far as I'm going in relation to this issue. If you are a person with a scientific mind, you could further investigate these issues in various scientific articles like the one found in this link. The problem with olive oil is the transformation of the double bond. Directly in the pan, you can easily heat the olive oil and its oleic acid beyond its smoke point, which is relatively low, 310 degrees Fahrenheit or 165 degrees Celsius. By inducing that temperature through the double bond, then it will flip, creating a trans fatty acid. That is poison. It is the same end product as when consuming polyunsaturated fats, as discussed in part 1 of these series. You definitely have to be careful with olive oil. It should only be consumed at room temperature and in small quantities. The same applies to other monounsaturated fats. The rule is, consume small amount. Do not use them for cooking. Make sure the product to be consumed, either liquid or in solid form like nuts, is not rancid. If you want to be on the safe side, obtain the monounsaturated fats directly from their source. Instead of the olive oil or the avocado oil, consume high-quality olives dressed only with natural herbs, vinegar, and sea salt. Completely avoid any additive, flavors, and enhancers. If you desire, eat a small avocado. Consume some nuts in moderation. A small amount of macadamia nuts is the best source for monounsaturated fat. Of course, do not consume all of the above the same day. Do your health a favor. Another problem with olive oil and avocado oil is adulteration. Of all the olive oils produced, according to some experts, only 10% strictly qualify as extra virgin. Yet 50% of all products pass themselves off as extra virgin anyway. In 1997 and 1998, olive oil was the most adulterated agricultural product in the European Union, prompting the European Union Anti-Fraud Office to establish an olive oil task force. In February 2006, U.S. federal marshals seized about 61,000 liters of what was supposedly extra virgin olive oil and 26,000 liters of a lower-grade olive oil from a New Jersey warehouse. Some of the oil, which consisted almost entirely of soybean oil, was destined for a company that is a member of the North American Olive Oil Association. Some tests have revealed that anywhere from 60% to 90% of the olive oil sold in American grocery stores and use in restaurants are adulterated with cheap, oxidized omega-6 vegetable oils. A 2020 study, first report on quality and purity evaluations of avocado oil sold in the U.S., in Science Direct, showed that 82% of avocado oil in America is also adulterated, mislabeled, or of poor quality. Is that also happening in other countries? Fraud, even today in 2024, remains a major international problem. Olive oil is far more valuable than most other vegetable oils, but it is costly and time-consuming to produce. The cost of 100% extra virgin olive oil has skyrocketed. According to some news in 2024, some stores in Spain have even locked the bottles of olive oil under key. Amazing. As an anecdote, many individuals in countries like Spain are extremely proud of their olive oil, and they defend the oil and its supposed benefits almost with the same level of stubbornness as they defend their religious traditions. For millions of Spaniards, it is a sacred tradition, still today, to start the day with a piece of bread soaked in olive oil as their breakfast. For sure, it is better than churros fried in vegetable oil and a cup of very sweet and artificial hot chocolate. Nevertheless, both are recipes for sickness. Elderly Spaniards, and some not so elderly, are very sick people. Cardiovascular diseases are the first cause of death in Spain, accounting for 33.71% of total deaths. Within this group, ischemic heart disease is the first cause in men. Cerebrovascular diseases are the main cause in women. According to the Health Ministry of Spain, and according to one study by the National Library of Medicine, cerebrovascular disease is among the 4 main causes of mortality in Spain. A final anecdote. A new patient from Spain, suffering from extreme levels of inflammation, was told by her medical doctor to eat Spanish ham, jamón serrano ibérico, every single day. Her doctor recommended many changes to her diet, but made sure that this patient would not stop eating the ibérico every single day. If you follow the information in these series of videos about understanding the fats, could you by now see the problem with that recommendation and why it is ill advice? Please leave your comments. So far, according to Part 1, it has been explained that you could improve your health by avoiding omega-6 fats to a minimum, as explained in that video. Also, always consume small amounts of omega-3, in particular from greens and the recommended fish in that presentation. To be clear, you do need some small amounts of omega-3 and omega-6, but when consumed in excess, and remember that the threshold is very low, it ends up having a toxic effect. In this Part 2, we have considered how you should be very careful about your consumption of monounsaturated fat, like olive oil, avocado, and nuts. Now the question is, what about saturated fats? We'll consider that in the next and final video. It will be Part 3 of the series. If you like the contents offered in this channel, please support the channel by subscribing and also by sharing the channel with friends and family. Thank you.